Hey, Geek Protagonist. I know this week's been a little bit sporadic on the videos. I think I've only dropped one or two. Actually got a family thing going on, a little personal. But I do have a couple pieces of content I'm going to finish editing to send. I'm actually trying to stack up enough to be able to tell you, be able to, so when these kind of things do happen, I'm not without content. But there's a couple things that have happened more recently that I wanted to talk about, so those will need to be recorded and dropped. However, you're here because I need to talk about that new Masters of the Universe revelation. So after hearing about a lot of information, which I think I did talk a little bit about it, the thing itself before, or I might just talk to my friend about it. I don't even know if I did a video on it because I wanted to wait to the trailer. I got a feeling I wanted to wait to see the trailer first. There was a lot of information and things going on about Teela. Like when they were promoting it, because remember, this is technically the continuation, because some people already said 40 years like the other ones didn't matter. Okay, there's been, to my recollection, 2 He-Man reboots. There was the one that wasn't as great where they made He-Man thinner. He had the green sword. He had a ponytail. It was like kind of futuristic. It came on after the He-Man series went off. Like they did a reboot. It wasn't that well received. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I actually liked the look and stuff. It just didn't feel like He-Man. Because, He-Man's supposed to be this big, burly, like, hero. And then they did I think it was the 2000. I know it was on Cartoon Network. They had 2 seasons. They had He-Man, the Master Universe, and then they had the second season, which was He-Man versus the Snake Man. And I really dug that cartoon. That came on around the same time, if I remember correctly, as that amazing Thundercats reboot. Not that piece of garbage Roar that I'm still needing to review, but I just keep dreading it. I hate Thundercats Roar. But anyway, yeah, so there's this trailer, and I was very curious. Now, I noticed the voices were a little bit different, which that's to be expected. Like, and don't get me wrong, I think he's an amazing voice actor. And I have no issues with him whatsoever. I'm just bringing up a point, so please don't try to kick my head off when I say this. Mark Hamill, as great as a voice actor as he is, and he's very awesome in inflecting his voice, he kind of, to me, only has about 4 voices, and the majority of the ones when he plays a villain, it's like another version of Joker. It's not bad. I think it's fine. When they did the Dragon Dude off of Ninja Turtles, when I heard his voice before I see anything, I'm like, that sounds like Joker, just Joker talking a little bit more strained. So instead of me going like this, I'm going like this now, kind of thing. But his voice does fit Skeletor, like the thing is. But I really like that 2000 reboot. Now, from what I understand, this is the sequel series that Kevin Smith did to the original to close out any plot points or anything like that, where there's another Netflix one coming. I seen a silhouette of it, which is supposed to be something different, as like a hard reboot, kind of like what they did with She-Ra. Not saying it's going to be She-Ra, but how She-Ra was a full-fledged reboot that had nothing to do with He-Man. To my knowledge, I have not watched it yet. I've heard it's very, 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 very woke, and they changed up all the characters and made most of them their gender politic stuff, and made most of them like attracted to women or the same sex. I don't know. That's what I heard. I had a friend who watched it, and he actually really liked it. But I remember She-Ra being a certain way because She-Ra was his cousin, and I actually had the She-Ra toy and everything because I liked He-Man, and she was part of He-Man, so to me, she was that, but, that's neither here nor there. So, when I watched it, from the imagery I saw, I like the transformation. I love a good henshin. And when you see He-Man actually transform, they kind of got away from the Prince Adam being kind of buff. And then when he's He-Man, it's just like he takes off his shirt, he's a little bit buffer. Like, they actually made this look more like a guy who's athletic and in very good shape to a person who then turns into like a massive mountain of a man. And I like that he said, like, call your champion, and you see He-Man on the thing, and he rips off like the cloak. I thought that was really cool. I like the way they use Skeletor's powers. The trailer is very action-packed. You've seen different people like, like Man-at-Arms. You've seen Teela. You see He-Man. You've seen Cringer. I really liked seeing Orko like actually look like Orko was giving something, because normally Orko was always cool, but Orko was kind of like at the same time Orko was a little bit of a joke character, because every time he did a spell it would always mess up. But I like those moments where Orko wasn't a joke, and I like the fact that Orko looked serious. Like Orko was like, no, how? I was like, okay, we got some action up in here, lots of action, because in the original cartoon, I don't know if people remember, He-Man couldn't really slice anything with a sword, because they were always so uptight about violence and stuff. So it looks like it's really cool. Like He-Man looks like he's very adventurous and stuff. Now I have my fingers crossed that this is not a bait and switch, because all I ever heard them talk about is Teela. Stuff I've seen, stuff I've heard other YouTubers talk about it. A lot of things keep coming out about Teela focus. Now in that trailer, it definitely looks like Teela is a big focus. Teela is a great warrior. I have comic books, some He-Man comic books with her in it, and she's awesome. But she's not the main person of the series. He-Man is. Now, if they want to elevate Teela to be something important, because she's Man-at-Arms' daughter, she's like a very important character, she's a very assertive character, great, fantastic female lead character, I think that's okay. If they do something where maybe He-Man disappears, or that's why he's in the desert, or a situation going on, I can even do that too. However, I better not get that's like what we saw, all that action in He-Man is like the first episode or two, and then the last episode or two, and then there's like 10 episodes in between, and it's the Teela show. It's Masters of the Universe, but when you ask anyone who's the Masters of the Universe, they're going to tell you it's He-Man. But if they do some Teela Grove, Teela-centric story, she becomes a leader, things like that, I am down. I like that I saw Beastman, Merman, saw a lot of characters. Yes, I can name quite a few off the top of my head. I was a very, very big He-Man fan as a kid. Actually, one of my favorite He-Man toys I had the battle damage chest thing, Skeletor's one. That was actually the first Skeletor I got. Then I got the other one. But my favorite He-Man I had was the Super Punch He-Man. I think that's what it was called. But basically, he had the thing on his chest like you see, like the thing with the H, and he had this like backpack on there, and you would turn it, and it was these paper strips, and these paper strips that had the powder. So if you ever, especially if you're from the 80s and 90s, you know what I'm talking about. You had the little ball things, the gunpowder things, you throw them on the ground and go pop, pop, and they make a little spark. Or you had the, as some people, I'm going to steal someone's thing, force multiplier toy, because it was a toy force multiplier, because apparently YouTube doesn't like it. Toy, gun, basically. And you'll put the little cap, the cap gun. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. The cap gun. And you would do the cap. Well, they had these little long strips. And you would put the strip inside of He-Man's backpack, and when you would turn them and punch, it would actually pop. And it would make this like really like spark, and it would smoke. Like, so it looked like he did like a super punch. And when I seen him punch the ground, that's what it looked like. So overall, this looked pretty cool. I think it's looking good. You guys tell me what you think. As usual, I'll try to remember to put it in the thing if you haven't seen it. I did like the song, Need a Hero. And I like the way he did it, because it didn't sound like it at first. It sounded like his own thing that blended into Need a Hero. And I thought that was a really cool thing. There was another song I had in mind that I thought they were going to use. But that song worked really, really well. Alright, Geek Protagonist, you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you. I just remembered, I thought they were going to use the song Final Countdown for some reason. It's the final countdown. But, it's whatever. All right.